The book of Titus is a short but powerful letter written by the Apostle Paul to his son in the faith, Titus. It is one of the three pastoral epistles, along with 1st and 2nd Timothy, and it focuses on the importance of sound doctrine and godly living in the church. Written around 62 to 63 AD, this letter was intended to guide Titus in his leadership role in the Church of Crete. The book begins with Paul identifying himself as a servant of God and an apostle of Jesus Christ. He then greets Titus and starts to lay out the purpose of his letter, to guide Titus in his ministry and to encourage the believers in Crete to live according to the truth of the gospel. Paul instructs Titus to appoint elders in every town, giving him a list of qualifications for these leaders. The leaders must be above reproach, have only one spouse, be temperate, self-controlled, respectful, hospitable, and able to teach. They must not be drunkards, greedy for money, or have a reputation for being violent or dishonest. Paul emphasizes the importance of having godly leaders in the church who will be able to teach sound doctrine and correct those who oppose it. In addition to appointing godly leaders, Paul also gives instructions on how to deal with false teachers and their false teachings. He warns Titus to rebuke them sharply and to not let them lead the believers astray. He urges him to teach the believers to live in a way that is consistent with sound doctrine and not to be swayed by the teachings of false teachers. Paul then moves on to address specific groups within the church, starting with older men. He encourages them to be temperate, worthy of respect, and self-controlled. They should be examples to the younger men and teach them how to live a godly life. Similarly, older women should also be examples of godliness and should teach the younger women to be self-controlled, kind, and to fulfill their responsibilities as wives and mothers. They should also be submissive to their husbands and not slander others. Paul then turns his attention to the younger men, urging them to be self-controlled and to have a sound mind. He encourages them to be good workers and to live in a way that is pleasing to God. Young women are also called to be self-controlled, pure, and to submit to their husbands. They should also be good homemakers and teachers of good things. In chapter 3, Paul reminds the believers in Crete of their former way of life before their salvation, highlighting the grace and mercy of God, which has saved them through the sacrifice of Jesus. He reminds them that it is not through their own good works, but by the power of the Holy Spirit that they have been saved. Paul then emphasizes the importance of good works, saying that believers should be careful to devote themselves to doing what is good. They are to avoid foolish controversies and arguments, as they are unprofitable and worthless. Paul also emphasizes the need for believers to be obedient to the authorities and to be ready to do good works for the benefit of others. In conclusion, Paul encourages Titus to be diligent in his leadership, reminding him of the grace of God and the importance of sound doctrine in the church. He sends greetings from fellow believers and encourages Titus to come and join him in Nicopolis after he has sent someone else to take charge of the church in Crete. The book of Titus teaches important lessons about the role of leaders in the church and the importance of sound doctrine and godly living. It emphasizes the need for believers to be examples of godliness and to strive to do good works, all through the grace and power of God. This short but powerful letter continues to guide and instruct believers today, reminding them of the unchanging truths of the gospel and the importance of living according to God's will.